Man, I'm so fucking tired of it. I fucking hate being on the internet. Anyways, welcome to a game review of Zenless Zero, or rather, why I don't fucking understand the hate people have for this game, which I've been enjoying for the past few days, non-stop. I've been playing a ton. As you can see, I'm level 30. And I've done pretty much all the side quests, and I've built 2 teams for shield defense, and you know, I've just been enjoying this game so thoroughly. And then when I'm so f***ing tired of it, I hop on YouTube, I search for this game that I'm currently playing that I like, and I hop on Reddit, I hop on any social platform that covers gacha game content somewhat, and people just f***ing hating this game, and I can't take it anymore, so we're just gonna make a video today covering what people are saying. And obviously the game is not perfect. You know, it's a gacha game, it has flaws, and even if it's not a gacha game, as just a standalone game by itself, it has flaws, right? Like, everything has flaws, but I'm just saying that people are morons for making this game seem like the worst piece of trash ever. Because I've been enjoying this game so much. Alright, anyways, let's stop wasting time. Let me get into my talking points here. So let's start by addressing people's points about this game. Okay, well, I'll just give you the rundown for now, because yeah, I'll just give you the rundown for now, and then we'll address them by sections, pretty much. So let's start with the most common one, which is, the combat, or rather, the 1 hour I've played of this game is too easy. Okay, and I'm just button mashing, and I'm just killing everyone. I'm just a f***ing goat, alright? I just go around and everything just dies. I'm just so good. Or this game is just so brain dead. I just left click, I spam left click, and everything just dies. It's so boring. And chain attacks, I spam left click, and it does everything for me. Okay, that's the first one. And second one is the TV screen, right? When you go into your HDD for story and for side quests that involve exploring, you go around on your little fucking bamboo. I don't know, is it this one or is it that one? I don't know. But it's a bamboo, and you navigate around and solve little puzzles. And people say, you know, this system, I don't feel it's as immersive as Genshin Impact or like Honkai Star Rail or like Wuthering Waves, and I really don't like the system. Which, this point is not as stupid as the previous one, and I think there's some merit to this point, and we'll get to it. And the last point is that the story is boring. Okay, well, we'll address it later. So let's start with the biggest part of the game that I think is very good, and people are trashing because they've only played 1 hour of the game and dropped it. So we're gonna be talking about, obviously, the core of the game, which is combat. So it's the dumbest f***ing point that people make. It's like, they play the first hour of the game, they run around, which is basically a tutorial. They run around and they kill shit. In a gacha game, okay, well, if you're familiar with gacha games, the early game is always like super not difficult, right? They want you to get through and get to the point of mid-game where you can, you know, understand everything first before they throw challenges at you. Which is like, I think that's okay game design, because, you know, it caters to people who don't pick up games as fast, right? For me and maybe you, who sits at their fucking computer all day and plays a game for hobby, you know, maybe it's easier for us to like understand all those systems like instantly, and it's like, oh shit, this shit's easy. But you have to understand that some of these people play on phones and they don't have time to understand all these games, and maybe they're just like a little slow, which is nothing wrong with that, right? I'm a little slow, but I still enjoy video games, and you know, I think it's fine for the game to be a little easy. And for you to take that as a talking point as to why the game is trash is despicable. Because you play 1 hour of the tutorial, which is designed for, you know, people who are not that good at video games to get used to the game, and you say, hey, you know, I spend my entire life in front of my PC, and this shit is too easy. Okay, this shit is too easy. And honestly, it is easy at the start. You don't even have to, you know, be spending all your days playing a video game to think it's easy, because I thought it was easy. And you know what? Yeah, it was easy, but tutorials are supposed to be easy. Like, you get that, right? Like, tutorials are supposed to be easy. They're not supposed to bend you over its knees and spank you red. Like, it's the point of the tutorial. Okay, and I'm just repeating what I'm saying because this point is so stupid. Okay, so we'll move on. And the next point is looking at my talking points here, and the combat is just button mashing. Okay, this goes beyond just tutorial. They say the whole game is just button mashing and it's too easy and they're just fucking brainless. I spam left click, I spam my abilities, and when chain attacks something, I just left click, and I just kill everything. Okay, so I don't know how people are getting this point, right? I think the only point, or rather the only way someone could see this way is that if they're only played, say, just the story mode without even challenge mode, or just playing all the really easy encounters. Like, the story, I think, is supposed to be easy, right? So that everyone can enjoy the story. If you're playing the game for the story, right? We'll get into that later. If you're playing the game for a story and you're not that good at video games, that's fine, right? Like, Oververse gave you an option. You know, you can play the story without being that good at the game, and I think that's okay. And if you think that's too easy, then why don't you go play Shiyu Defense? Why don't you go play like the whole abyss of this game, the MOC of this game? Like, why don't you go play that? Because I like to fucking see you stand still and spam your left click and spam your chain attacks with no thought. Like, I want to see you do that and clear it, because that's not possible. You can't do that. Right? You're not gonna clear, or at least you won't clear with an S. More of the combat is how dynamic I think the game actually is, because in Wuthering Waves, you parry with your character, right? Like, your on-field character. And in Zenless Zero, they actually did like this revolutionary shit. It's like, I've never seen this in any video game before, right? They took advantage of like the Genshin Impact team aspect of a fighting game, or like an action game, and turn it into the most amazing parry mechanic I've ever seen in my life. So you swap in characters to parry for you. Now, you might not think is that genius of a game mechanic, but I'm trying to tell you that it really is. It is super genius to have this parry mechanic that's not tied to your inherent character, because this parry mechanic on games like Elden Ring, on games like Wuthering Waves, where you have to not be attacking or in any animation, where you have to chain it correctly, which is very difficult, right? So it's not consistent. You have to be not in animation while you want to parry, right? So in my experience, this leads to a rather stagnant playstyle if you want to play for the parries, right? Unless you're just very good and you can weave your parries, the end of your combos, and you know exactly what the mob does, and all that. But that takes time and mastery of the boss, right? So you can't immediately start having fun on that boss until you understand its attack pattern, right? Like, you see what I'm saying. But Zenless Zero does this thing that is so f***ing good. Like, any boss, you can just go in and start going nuts to butts action on this guy, because there's no delay on your parries, right? Because it's tied to another person. You can be doing full-on offense, and then like your longest like animation window, like, and the boss attacks, you could just switch in someone else and parry for you. Like, that's absolutely amazing, because first of all, it encourages like you to play extremely aggressive, right? Because there's nothing holding you back from playing aggressive. You go in, and then as long as you have your reaction time, right, you can just swap in someone and parry for you, and then you can continue the chain. It feels extremely natural, and there's like no abrasion between switching characters, and I'd argue that Genshin has like a very abrasive character swap-in mechanic, because they don't do anything when they swap in, right? Like it just feels kind of awkward, right? I'm not here to shit on Genshin. Well, maybe we'll do it later, but we're gonna talk about how, you know, Zenless Zero is a good game actually. So there's that, and there's also something on the parries. I feel like parries might be like, this parry is my favorite parry system in any game, because how Hoyoverse made the parry system, I just explained to you how it's good, and now the parry system is rewarding, right? And it feels very nice when they hit you, and you know you get Ambi to come in, and Ambi just parries the giant monster's attack with her little ass sword, and she gets knocked back. And then, you know, some of the bosses, or like I'd say most of the bosses, have like multi-stage attacks, and it goes bing 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 on the attack, and the visuals look very good, and the sound effects are very good, and it feels very satisfying to parry stuff. Okay, and there's no switch-in cooldown, so some bosses will launch like parryable attack after parryable attack, so you can, you know, Ambi coming in, parry, and then like, you know, Anton comes in, parry, and then their stun bar just starts building up, and then you can do your chain attacks. And the next point of the combat system I want to talk about is the chain attacks, which I think is absolutely pretty brilliant for a gacha game. So when you max out their stun meter and hit them with a heavy attack, which is like E, or for Ambi's case, or like some other character's case, you can hold down your left click, and it counts as like stance breaking attack, I guess. So when their stun bar flashes rainbow, you can break their stance, and it cuts in like a little thing where like you can swap in Anton, or like Grace, or like any character you want, right? And then each of them have different swap-in attacks. And these swap-in attacks, like, especially if you have support characters, are actually like, you know, hard to consider, because at the time, if you swap in, let's say I break with Ambi, that's the normal case, right? That's the best case scenario. I break with Ambi, maybe I want to throw it, and then I have to like look at their anomaly build-up bar, right? Because, you know, my Grace is built with anomaly proficiency, and obviously I want her to proc the shock, and I don't want Anton with his 96 to proc the fucking shock, right? So I break with Ambi, and then now I have to you know, remember how much shock I was at. I was like, okay, so I was like 75%. So maybe I immediately chain attack to Grace, and Grace, boom, shock, and then I can just go back to Anton, right? And that's great, because Anton, you know, he procs all the shock and shit. Okay, so it's a lot of thought process to who you should switch in. And I'll give you another example. So what if I break with Grace? Okay, so I break with Grace. What's the next person I should swap in? So it's either Anton or Ambi, right? So now you might be saying, okay, they're already broken. Why would you swap in Ambi? So consider this: if you're not just fighting a singular boss, and you're fighting one enemy, and you break one enemy's stance, right? If you swap in Anton, he's not like guaranteed to break all the little other little trash mob's stance. So the good thing about the stun meter is that like everyone has a different one, right? All the mobs have a different one. So you break one of their stuns, you can, you know, maybe try to aim Ambi to stun another one, so you can chain to Anton, right? Because how the stun mechanic works is, you know, the bigger the stun bar that you have to fill up, the longer they stay stunned, and the more follow-up attacks you can get. So for normal trash mobs, it's if you stun them, you get one follow-up. Okay, that's it. And then for like semi-elites or like mini bosses, you get like 2. So you go Grace, Ambi, Anton, for example. And then for the really big bosses, you go Grace, Ambi, Anton, and then your Bang Boo, right? Your Bamboo comes in, and they do their little shit, and then it goes back to the, I think it goes back to the original person, right? So the stun system is like, I'm sure like most people don't even understand this, right? Because they don't even think when they fucking play games, right? So this is something I've discovered by playing the game, and I think it's really neat, like the switch-ins and shit. Now, I've given you an example for my Grace Anomaly team, right? Like, for different circumstances, I would want to swap in, Ambi over Anton because I want stun, or I want Anton over Ambi because I want him to get the charge so he can get his fucking Gurren Lagann drill into the boss's ass, right? Like, you see what I'm saying? And there's way more intricacies than just the Anomaly build-up comp. Anomaly build-up comp is one of them. I have the Soldier 11 double carry comp, just a hyper carry Soldier 11 comp because I don't really have that much resources. We're in like early mid game gacha game, so you're gonna have to make some questionable teams. So this is the Soldier 11 with Lucy and Sukaku. Okay, so these two are like the best supports in the game, and I try to make them hyper carry Soldier 11, and after many experiments, okay, it does work, and it does work under one circumstance, is that when Sukaku has to be the last in line, and the chain attacks, it's because of the chain attacks, okay, so it is super intricate because Sukaku's buff only works when she plugs down her banner, right? And when she swings around her banner and she plugs it on the ground and she calls in another person, like your spacebar, the spacebar key like glows and it's like assist, right? And then you have to understand that assist only goes to the next person. So if I go Soldier 11, Lucy, Sukaku, who's next? Soldier 11, right? So Soldier 11 gets that buff, but you can't run it like Soldier 11, Sukaku, and Lucy because Sukaku will give her buff to Lucy, and Lucy gets the buff instead of Soldier 11. So you see where I'm coming from. Like the team fucking position actually matters because of these support characters. Like it's that intricate. It's that intricate. I'm telling you, it's that intricate. And maybe you might be asking me, okay, so Lucy gives a buff. So why can Lucy afford to be on the second spot? And this comes down to a character understanding, right? You have to read their fucking shit, right? Like it's like a lot of theory crafting you have to understand, right? You have to read Lucy's shit. So Lucy, let's see, should be like over here, right? So this Chirao effect, if you just read it, right, it gives to all allies. It says all allies, if you just read this. I'll give you a second to read this, but I'll talk over it. So she gives a bunch of her attack to allies and shit, right? And then a flyball is longer duration than a line drive because flyball takes longer to launch and stuff, So she gives it to absolutely everyone in the team. Everyone has a buff for 15 seconds if you hit a flyball. Okay, so Kaku works differently in that. Okay, I think it's here. When she launches Fly the Flag, she only gives it to the next person in line. And if you try to maneuver it, it reduces the duration, it doesn't work, the next person just doesn't get the fucking buff. Okay, so it's all the characters have their own quirks and is well designed, and the team building is very complex. So I'm just trying to say that game is complex and not brain dead. Okay. And there's actually even more that goes into team comp building because some of you might say, hey, why do you have Soldier 11, Lucy and Sukaku together? Because Sukaku is a ice character, right? And if you pay attention to team building, everyone gets their own passives when under two conditions, right? One of two conditions, I should say. So, if the character is on the same faction, like let's say I have Ben Bigger, right, my goat, and Grace Howard on the same team, it doesn't matter that they're electric and fire. They're both in Bellabog, so they both get their buffs, respectively, right? And if I have same case scenario, get Billy and Nicole on the same team, they get their shit no matter what because cunning hairs, right? And here comes Soldier 11. She's in this fucking launch faction that has no one in it. So, and her passive is quite valuable, right? Right here. Wait, no. Oh, shit. I actually don't remember where you see this. I think you see this in the team build, in the team selection screen easier. So I just tell you that she does like fucking 40% extra damage when she's with someone with fire. Okay, so you just have to match her with someone that has fire, because you know fire attribute works in place of a faction bonus. So you have Soldier 11 and Lucy on the same team because Lucy is fire and she is support, right? And then my original idea was to have Ben bigger, but then like Sokaku, like originally I was like, okay, Sokaku has ice and she's not part of anything with Soldier 11 and Lucy. So I was like, okay, so maybe I would just save Sokaku for, you know, when I get an ice DPS. I'm not pulling for Ellen though, but okay. Anyways, I'm not pulling for Ellen, so I'm just gonna like bench her or something. But now, no, not actually, because I read her passive. Her passive actually is just to increase the ice damage, and it's not that important. So you can kind of just stick her anywhere. So this is how this comp came to be. And after many testing, as I played Chiyu defense and challenging the hard mode of the stories, I look at the buffs and stuff and see if they work. Okay, so and this composition works because Sokaku swaps into Soldier 11. Okay, so it's pretty fucking intricate. Okay, the game's not brain dead at all. I don't want to hear it. Okay, I don't want to fucking hear it. All right, now that we have that out of the way, right? That's combat. We'll continue on to the TV screen. Okay, the TV screen, the fucking dumbass bamboo TV screen. Okay, I don't mind it that much, but I can see why people hate it. Okay? So, it is supposedly like, you know, a retro way of showing a visual of what's going on, right? Because I imagine this TV screen, we just have them all, you know, all on a wall, and it's like displaying a topography of what's going on, right? Like you can see, it's all on a wall. It's displaying the topography. Everything that goes on. Now, I think the icons are pretty well made, and the animation in the TV and stuff, it's like super well made, and it's pretty charming for like a retro style game, and I quite like it. But I can see why people would prefer like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact's approach to story quests, where like you actually have to walk around a place and talk to people physically with your character, because that's way more immersive, right? Because like you're literally walking around, you can see the area and stuff, and with this fucking TV bullshit, you can only see the TV screen. You have to imagine shit, right? Like it's not as grandiose as Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, or Wuthering Waves. I'll admit, but I think this type of stuff allows hovers to do more side quests and like more interesting puzzles, because I played one, there was like this little fucking cannon thing, and you have to like maneuver your bamboo to hit these buttons, and it was actually not terrible, right? It was pretty fun. And I think that was only like fun because it was in that style. And you know, it has its benefits, but it takes away ultimately from the cinematic feeling of the story. I'll admit, right? So TV screen, definitely, like, if it's not your cup of tea, then I don't blame you, right? It's not your fault. But I personally kind of enjoy it. So now let's move on to my next point, which is that the story is boring / like linear, and it's unimpressive. Okay, so you know, I'm obviously not a writer, right? I don't know much. I mean, I enjoy stories, right? I play story games, and I, you know, watch TV shows, anime, and whatnot, and I know what I like, you know, in stories. So I think to call the story boring this early into a game is quite stupid, to be honest. And even this early in, our first arc was just pretty generic, right? It was like corporate with Nekomata, and we have to go stop fucking corporate greed, basically, right? And I really have I have no problem with the story. I don't think it was phenomenal, right? But I am first and foremost a fucking gamer, right? I'm here to play the game, and I think it served a purpose. I think the story provide a structure to our combat. And I don't think the story has to be something great. And you know, it's different if you're just here for story, right? If you're just here for a story, then you know, I understand it is linear, and you know, if you don't really fuck with the gameplay aspect, which I don't know why you're playing a video game, bro. Just go read a book. Like, damn, our intelligence does not match yours. Okay, just go enjoy a medium that provides, you know, good stories. And I'm not saying that the gacha games don't have good stories. I'm just saying it is forgivable for a gacha game to have not that good of a story, because it is a game. It is a fucking game. It is a game first and foremost. It is not. It is not a requirement for a game to have an amazing story. Okay, the story serves its purpose. Very linear, and I have to say, I quite enjoyed it, even though it was linear, right? Because okay, you might ask why. You know, and this is where like the TV stuff is obviously very easy to make for horrors, right? It's like it's just a bunch of code, and you don't have to provide any new graphics aside from like maybe like a few new enemies, and it's all very easy compared to like making a new area in a game, you know, and traversing around that area. All very easy to make compared to that, right? I think everyone can agree. And you can see that effort paying off, because like with all that spare time, they're not making that shit. They make these like beautiful and like nice stylized comic book panels, and you can play them back over here, and I think they're pretty fucking brilliant. I think they're great. Like the art, that's not the workbench. Obviously, it's the video playback, right? It's not like you know, I love these covers. Very cool for all the stories and stuff. So like you can just like click in and like re-enjoy the story and whatnot. You can look at the story panels and shit, and I think it's great. You know, the story panels, it's like a comic book style, like a manga style, very nice. And the cutscenes I think are pretty good as well. Right? I think Holoverse games normally have very good cutscenes, and this one is no different, right? This one has really nice cutscenes, especially on Arc 2 with Belobog. The last fight, I'm not gonna spoil it, okay? But I'm just gonna tell you the last fight between a character and a villain, an enemy, was pretty fucking good. It was pretty stunning. Yeah, I would just say that much. I think it's pretty good. And that about covers story, okay? General consensus, I think it does its job, right? And provides structure to the game so we can enjoy the fucking bomb-ass gameplay, okay? Alright. That's about, like, all the complaints out of the way. But now I just want to talk about, like, you know, builds and such, and my personal opinion on, like, everything else, right? Because I like this game, right? Like I don't want to just like defend it. I want to praise it, so, if you will, right? I want to fucking praise it because I think it's pretty fun. So, the disc and shit. We have the 6 drive system for our equipment in this game. So in Genshin, we have 5 relics. In Star World, we have 6 pieces. We have 4 normal relics and 2 of the Simulator Universe pieces, right? And I think my favorite one so far, I think Zenless Zone Zero is on par with Genshin Impact. And why I say that is, okay, Honkai Star Rail, I'm not saying it's not interesting, the passives and the builds, okay? I'm just saying there's no fucking variety in the builds, because, hear me out. You need 4 pieces to activate this very, very important buff. Okay, like, look at this shit, bro. Like, you know, keep in mind, like, Hoyoverse games, 4-piece effects are way better than 2-piece effects. 4-piece effects often have, like, fucking 4 paragraphs detailing why, like, what it does. And 2 pieces, like, you get 10 plus damage, right? It's obvious. Like, 4-piece, you want to go for a 4-piece normally on every single character. Hangestaro forces you to only have a 4-piece, and the similar universe shit is only 2-piece. So you have to get perfect everything. So you get 4-piece and 2-piece, right? And then there's not much, you know, you can't really do like oh, I want to do 2 2s. I mean, you can do 2 2s, but it's like not very viable. Anyways, Zenless Zone Zero makes an interesting pivot, right? I like Genshin for the fact that I can have an off-piece, because we have 4-piece combos and 2-piece. It sounds like we're talking about fucking chicken, but we're not. We're talking about Relic, okay? The 4-piece and the 2-piece provide theory crafting to your builds, right? Because it's like a variety of relics. So the problem, like I said, with Honkai Star Rail is that no problem with Honkai Star Rail. No innovation, no leniency. So you have to have all the pieces correct. Genshin Impact, a lot of leniency, because you can go for 4-piece, and then you can if you like imagine this disk drive isn't here. This is basically Genshin Impact, right? We can get a 4-piece combo of the set effect of whatever you want, and you can have an off piece that has fucking fuck all to do with your set, but you know, it might have good substats. Like sometimes it has the main stat, and it also has good substats. So like it's a good piece for your character, but you know, maybe your D-Look trying to use like emblem, right? Like it doesn't work. D-Look doesn't use emblem. He uses fucking Crimson Witch. You know what you know what I mean, right? It gives you more leniency system. This game has why I say it has the same level of relic building as Genshin is that it has 6 pieces. You can do 4-2, or you can do 2-2-2. And I think that's pretty interesting, right? 4-piece obviously has a nice passive, but if you have 2-2-2, it has a bunch of like nice stat bonuses, right? Like if you look at Woodpecker, it's 8% crit rate. That's not bad. And we get plus percent, 6% impact, and electric damage, flame damage, whatnot. You can go 2-2-2 as easily as you can go for a 4-2. And I think that's pretty interesting, right? There's like options for where you want to build and like how you want to play that specific character, like the way you want, right? And I think that's very, very important. Like for a character to be played in more than just one way, right? The way you want to play the character, and it adds a lot of customization to it. But it lacks leniency, right? Because all our sets have to be correct. It has to be 2-2-2 or 4-2. It's not 7 pieces where we can have one odd ones out. And I think if there is a 7th one, it's a little bit too much. So I think 6 is good for what the game's trying to do. And you know, as we're sitting here, I love these like W engines, bro. They look very, very good, and each of them have unique little animations. And you know, I fucking there's one on the battle pass that's freaky as shit, bro. Hold on, I'm not sure if I can find it. Right here, this shit is freaky as hell, bro. I love this. This shit is freaky as fuck. And then you can go around and look at these engines. They'll do different shit, and it's really, really cool. Even though you don't see them in game, right? You don't see them in game, but it's fine. The interface is really, really nice, and the polish is there, right? The quality, you can see the quality. Quality is there. And speaking of quality, our next point is probably like the UI, bro. This shit is like a Persona UI. Bro. This shit is, or may I say, this shit is pretty good. One thing I did while fucking around in the menus is, because you have very concise menus, okay? You have your little constellations, Eidolon or Cinema, whatever you want to call it. The duplicates over here. And then you have the 3 main tabs of your character. Okay? And you might have noticed, you know, base stats and skills. She puts up her sword and shit, equipment, she turns around, and you know, what I realized is when you go from equipment back to base stats, she does a different animation than when she does go for skills to base stats, right? It's different. It's really, really crazy, you know? It's like little things, you know, in the game that make it more enjoyable. Like it's just like I don't know. It's just really nice. It just feels super natural. Like she does this way, and turn this way, and this way. It's like really, I don't know. It's really cool. And okay, we'll cover 2 more points. Next point is probably character design. Okay, and last point is probably map design and whatnot, and we'll be done. Okay, and
Ready for combat. Ready and wait.
I don't really have a problem with the character design. I actually quite like them, especially like Grace. My favorite so far has to be Anvi. She is literally fucking Metal Gear Rising Revengeance girl. Okay, she's literally Raiden. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, fucking all it's ridiculous. She runs around and parries bullets. It is fucking ridiculous. She is Raiden. Okay, I love her. And some of the weaker designs have to be like, let's see. I don't have Piper. I'm glad I don't have Piper because I don't fucking like her. I think she looks like really strange. I can't put my finger on it. She's like a little kid with a giant axe, right? That's like a done stereotype. Like a well-known stereotype, like a little ass girl with a giant ass weapon, right? You see it in anime, you see it everywhere. And I don't know, like Corrin is not that exact, trope, but I feel like she does it better than Piper. Just because how much fucking Piper's design sucks. Okay, I'll stop roast fucking flaming Piper. We just leave it there. I don't like her. Okay, and the next design I don't really like is probably like Vaughn. Even though I don't like, I'm glad I don't have him. Like, I'm not into that shit. And if you're into that shit, respectfully, it's okay. I think he's kind of just okay. Okay, I think his attacks are very cool. Like how he kicks with his cyborg legs and shit. Like, but I feel like this game draws heavy inspiration from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, because look at this shit, bro. That's literally like you can't tell me that shit isn't ridiculous, right? You get what I'm saying? If you haven't played that game, go play that game. That game is very peak. Okay, and I honestly don't really have a problem with any of the character designs. I think they're all very cool and likable. And obviously, it's like fucking kids in video games, and damn, Lucy has a short and whatnot. It's just gacha game shit, bro. I am growing tired of it. I don't like it. Okay, I do not endorse pedophilia. I know that is crazy. I don't fucking like pedophiles. Okay, if you like lollies, then please surrender yourself to the police or seek fucking God. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that subject. And God, Jesus Christ, please, Rena, come to my account. Okay, no, okay. Anyways,
At your service.
next we're gonna talk about last thing, which is map design. So, map design, I think, is pretty good. It's like this whole street is pretty believable. First of all, what era it wants to be in, and okay, let's just talk about map and game setting. Okay, so the map is, obviously the textures are pretty beautiful and awesome. I very much enjoy how nice everything looks, and it's just like a very nice place. I don't know, it feels kind of restrictive sometimes because it feels like you should be able to go up these steps, and there's just like a lot of places where you can't go to that you feel like you should be able to, right? And it's just like, it just fucking feels kind of weird. It's like nitpicky, right? Because we're playing not an open world game, but where you can go to is very jam-packed with stuff, I'd say. Like the arcade, Godfinger, this the ramen shop and the coffee shop, and right across you get all your reliquary rolls. Okay, I fucking hate this place, and you improve your bamboo over here. It's very compact and it's very charming, I'd say. Right, I think the map design is pretty good. You have fucking this guy always asking for butt sex help. Okay, just leave me alone. I think it's not bad, but it could be bigger, or like, I don't know, like, fuck, like, you can go up these steps. Why can't I go up those steps? Like, there's nothing here either, right? Like, just let me go up, and I just wanna see what's up here, you know? Make the world feel a little bit more alive. Just nitpicks, and that's about it for map, right? Bellabog, map a lot less good than this. Okay, main hub, I love it. Very nice. Last point. Okay, I promise. Last point is setting of the game. I very much enjoy the setting. It's like I played the game blind. I didn't see any trailers. I just knew there was a new Hoyo game coming out on July 4th, I think, when this game came out. So I came in blind, and I was immediately greeted by that little ass retro TV screen. I really, really enjoyed it because I played Cyberpunk, I watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I really enjoyed the aesthetics of Cyberpunk. Like the consumerism shit and dystopian shit. I think it was really, really awesome. It was really cool. And this game kind of captured that feeling, but you know, obviously this game is not that dystopian. It's pretty sci-fi, but not really at the same time, because like you have all these like gadgets, like you have like obviously Soldier 11 has this fucking like flaming sword, like the Demon Slayer shit, and Ambi has this like, you know, shock sword, which is like, yeah, I don't know, I don't think that should exist in a non-sci-fi world. And they dress like, you literally have, okay, what am I talking about? You literally have fucking a fucking cyborg over here, right? Like literally, it's sci-fi, but it's also retro, which is like very cool because you get the old school pop music playing. You know, when you're in battle, disc crashes, very cool. And you know, you have a fucking video store, like like a Blockbuster. Like, how old is that? That's super retro, right? That's not sci-fi at fucking all, bro. You'd think, oh, you know, sci-fi society, everyone goes on their like fucking little monitors, like strapped to their like brain chip, and they watch you know, Breaking Bad on their Neuralinked visual interface in their fucking brain or some shit. Like that's what happens in Cyberpunk, right? That's what happens in Cyberpunk. But this is not what happens. Like they come in and it's like, dude, Bell, recommend me a film. And it's like, oh, that's really cool. Right? That's really fucking cool. It's mixing timelines together. I'd say, like, it's mixing eras. That's a better word. Together, like it's mixing sci-fi and retro together, and I fucking love it. Okay, I'm here for it. So, it's not as dystopian as Cyberpunk so far. It's definitely not as sci-fi as Cyberpunk. And not as retro as retro. So it's like a good, nice balance. And my favorite... Okay, I have a lot of favorites for the setting, but I really, really enjoy the record store right across from us. And how records, you know, are the equipment. That's fucking cool as shit, bro. That's really cool. Like all the relics, they're not relics. They're like records. You know? And
it's our turn, bro.
Man, it's just really, really cool. And our interface over here, game is pretty heavy on consumerism, I'd say. Like the constant flow of ads on that TV and constant flow of ads everywhere. It's like pretty heavy consumerism, and you know, it's the events over here like is really, really well done. It captures a feeling of, you know, fucking ads, which these events basically are, right? It's fucking ads telling you to, you know, their shit and stuff, and get stuff. And the day system. Okay. We're gonna talk about some like little details now. Okay, I promise. We'll finish soon. We'll finish soon. Little details like, day system like Persona is a little unnecessary, but I do like seeing, you know, how how busy the street is during early morning, and how much people are on the street during afternoon hours and stuff. And at night, there's like different people and different stuff. And at midnight, it's just like no one is here except for this fucking freak in his fursuit, right? I don't know why this guy's not sleeping. This guy never sleeps. And obviously, you know, oh, look. I didn't even notice this guy, best boy, is sleeping. Okay, we're not gonna wake him up. Stop waving at me, you freak. Anyways, I think it's a nice touch to the game. The game overall is just very, very polished. Okay, you can see it in the UI, like over here. Once you get friendship with people, you can swap the backgrounds. I'm very excited for this, by the way. After this video, I'm probably gonna go grind out some story quests, and then eventually I can get my Grace fucking background, or Soldier 11 background, okay? And it's very, 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 very cool. I like how, so Genshin has, you know, the name cards for customization on your profile, and Honkai Star Rail doesn't have much of that at all. Right? I think that's very, very lacking aspect of Star Rail. Keep in mind, I am like max level in that game. Okay, I'm not talking out of my ass. Just let you know. Okay? I am not making blind criticism. I think that game lacks some customization. The only fucking name cards you get are from battle passes, and I don't really want to buy that. Okay, in this game, I don't know how good the name card customization is. The biggest gripe I have is the fucking customize it. Let me use my character profile pictures, like, please. Like, I understand you're going for like the, you know, the internet forums approach and stuff, and I think it's pretty cool. You know, like, everyone has these dumbass profile pictures, but for the love of God, bro, I just want to see Grace's face on my profile picture. Like, or Ambi's face on my profile picture. Like, anyone, all the like the characters I like on my profile picture. Okay, for the love of God, just fucking let me do it. Do it. Little nitpick, but I think it's kind of fucking weird that I can't put my favorite character on there. Okay. But for your own enjoyment, it's not a name card. You can change the background. And I'm very excited. I've yet to see any of their background and how they look like. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what it looks like. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be like the respective headquarters of, you know, of Honey Hairs. Like, I forgot her organization, but it's like a SWAT team basically, Belbog and stuff. And I feel like if they do it correctly, it will be pretty cool, because every single time you open your menu, you'll see it. And it's moving and it's dynamic, and everyone's in different poses. Okay, I think. And that about wraps up my initial thoughts on why Zenless Zone Zero is a fucking good game. Okay, it is not a bad game. If you play game, okay, let's be fair here. If you think the game is shit, you're either just you're either just actually an idiot, or you're just bitter that this game has a better combat system than fucking Genshin or any other gacha game that you might prefer over this game, or like you've stuck around for longer, you know, and you feel like you fucking own allegiance to that game. You don't. Okay, you can enjoy multiple things. Okay, and when other people enjoy shit, you don't have to tell them, hey, it's dog shit, you shouldn't like this. Because I don't like it. Okay, because objectively, this game is a good ass game, okay, and it is free game. It is banging. It is bussin'. It is a good game because the combat very fun, very, very fun combat. If you just take the time, try to fucking understand. Okay. Anyways, it's been good, you know, talking about you know, unbottling my perspective on things, and you know, letting out some facts that most definitely people are not gonna like, because they want to, you know, live in a fucking completely different world from me, right? They want to be like, you know, Genshin Impact has the best combat system, Weathering Waves has no flaws, you know, Honkai Star Rail, and blah 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 blah. Okay, I play all of these games, and I think all of them have their flaws and their pros. Okay, and you know, I think all of them are good games. So there's absolutely no need to fucking shit on this game that I think is pretty good. And anyways, that's about it. And I'll probably make more content on Zenless Zone Zero, maybe on team comps and shit, if you care. And yeah, I'll be playing the fuck out of this game, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. See ya.